Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Look, whether you're at a tiny startup or some huge global corporation, you've got a manager. But have you ever stopped to think about what they actually do all day? Well, today we're going to unpack exactly that, the world of business management.
Right? It seems like such a simple question. But the answer, well, it's way more complex than you'd think. I mean, you see them in meetings, you get emails from them, but what is their real job, their fundamental purpose? That's the puzzle we're going to solve right now.
All right, so to solve that puzzle, we've got to start at square one. What is management, really? Let's get to the core idea.
Okay, so here's the official definition. At its heart, management isn't just, one single thing. It's a whole process. It's deliberate. And you see those four key words right there? Planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. Those are like the four pillars holding the entire thing up. And they're all pointed at one single destination, hitting the company's goals. And that brings up a really, really important point. Management isn't just about spreadsheets and flowcharts. No way. It's a blend. You've got the social part, which is all about people, influencing them, motivating them, leading them. And then you've got the technical part, using systems and resources as efficiently as possible. You absolutely need both of those to win.
Okay, so we know what it is, but why does it matter so much? I mean, really. Here's the deal. You can have the most brilliant, game-changing idea in the world or the most talented team ever assembled, but without good management, oof, things can go sideways fast. Think of management as the glue that holds everything together, the force that gets everyone pulling in the same direction. I mean, just think about it for a second. Without coordination, your sales team might go out and promise an amazing new feature that, whoops, the engineering team has no idea how to build. Good management stops that from happening. It breaks down those walls, helps the company change and adapt, and, maybe most importantly, builds a culture where people actually want to work. When you boil it all down, it really comes down to one word: optimization. A great manager looks at all the resources a company has. We're talking people, time, and money. And their job is to make sure not a single bit of it is wasted. It's all about getting the absolute most bang for your buck, maximizing productivity from everything you've got. All right, so that's the why. But what about the how? I mean, how do managers actually, do all this stuff? Well, it turns out they have a kind of playbook. And this playbook is built around 5 core functions. Here they are: planning, organizing, staffing, leading, and controlling. You can think of these as the essential steps in a cycle. It's a process that starts with a plan and ends with checking on that plan, which creates this constant loop of getting better and better. So let's break down what each of these really looks like in the real world. First up, planning. This is literally the blueprint phase. Before anyone does anything, the manager has to figure out what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and who's going to do it. It's all that thinking up front that prevents total chaos down the line. Okay, next up is organizing. So if planning was the blueprint, organizing is actually gathering all the materials and the crew. It's about arranging all the resources, the people, the budget, the tools, and getting everything and everyone in the right place to actually make the plan happen. Then we have staffing. And this might sound simple, but wow, is it critical? This is all about getting the right people on the team, the right players in the right positions. You could have the world's best plan and be perfectly organized, but if you don't have the right people to do the work, none of it matters. Number 4 is leading. And this is where the magic really happens. This is the human side of things. It's not just barking orders. It's about guiding, motivating, and inspiring people so they want to contribute their best. This is what separates a mere boss from a true leader. And last but not least, number 5 is controlling. Now hold on, this doesn't mean being a control freak. A better way to think about it is like steering a ship. The manager is constantly checking performance against the original plan, looking at the map and compass, and then making little adjustments to the course to make sure the team stays on track and reaches its destination. All right, so we've talked about the what, the why, and the how of management. Now let's get into the who. What kind of skills does a person actually need to be a successful manager and pull all this off? A great manager's toolkit has to be incredibly diverse. It's really a mix of art and science. You've got the science part, things like technical skills, decision-making, but then you have the art, the interpersonal stuff, communication, and the best of the best, they're masters of both.
And this slide really gets at a crucial difference that every manager has to navigate: technical skills versus conceptual skills. Technical skills are all about the how, understanding how the actual work gets done. But conceptual skills? That's about the why. It's about seeing the big picture, understanding how your team's work fits into the entire organization's goals. A truly great manager has to be fluent in both.
So it's not just about having a set of skills. Managers also have to play different roles. A great way to think about it is that they wear different hats depending on what the situation calls for.
And these are the three main hats. You've got the interpersonal hat for interacting with people, you've got the informational hat for gathering and sharing information, and you have the decisional hat for, well, making decisions. On any given day, a manager might wear their interpersonal hat in a team meeting, then switch to the informational hat to review a report, and then slap on the decisional hat to handle an unexpected crisis. They're constantly jumping between these roles.
I think this quote is a perfect way to bring it all home. It really wraps up everything we've been talking about. Management is a process. It's about decision-making, it's about guiding people, and it's all in service of hitting those goals you set out from the start.
So that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Think about your own world, your own work. Who's the manager there? It could be your boss, a team lead, or maybe it's even you. And what goals are they, or are you, helping everyone achieve? And that's business management, explained.